Hi everyone, it's Sean Sandilands from Pulse Markets here. We've got Shannon Green, Executive Chairman of Resource Base Limited, which is listing on the ASX in June this year. Shannon, nice to see you. How are you going?
I'm really well, thanks, Sean. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Great. We've got an investor base that we send this stuff out to occasionally, so we'd just like to get you in front of our investors. So I've got a couple of questions here that I'd like to ask you today about the upcoming raise that you're doing. Have you got a few moments that you could talk to us about that, please?
Absolutely. Yep. I love talking about it.
Okay, fantastic. That's good to hear. Okay, Shannon, can you now introduce Resource Base Limited to our audience today, please?
Yeah, sure. Look, RBX historically operated the Brula King joint venture gold operations in New South Wales. And that operation closed and went into care and maintenance for a couple of years, while the existing board at that time looked around for other opportunities. In sort of May last year, I was approached to come onto the board and see if I couldn't do something further with the company. So I joined the board at the same time with Jamie Myers, and we did a full assessment, charted a new course, which included divesting of the BKJV and go on the hunt for a new asset, and with the view then to take the company back through recompliance, IPO, and recapitalise the company. And here we are now at on the home stretch of that almost 12 months.
Okay, thanks for that. Can you now give us a bit of a background on the Black Range project?
Yeah, look, we were introduced to Navarre and the Black Range project by someone within our network that thought that it might fit what we were looking for, and they thought that Navarre, may be interested in divesting that asset to us. So we opened up dialogue and moved through it. The project itself is in the Stave of the Arc, which is becoming a very, very prominent region, copper, gold. The project areas had some previous geological work and some drilling, and that drilling has really given a pretty strong sense of proof of concept that we believe that there's a larger scale VMS style mineralisation within the project area, and that's what.
Okay, that's really good to hear. Navarre are going to be a major shareholder. What do they bring to the table in this particular instance?
Yeah, look, Navarre from the beginning only wanted to ensure that they retained a reasonable piece of the asset. They weren't looking just for a clean exit from the project. They believed in the project, but they were really moving forward with their pure gold play, and they really wanted to see this to go to a home with a group that was really going to put their foot on the pedal and develop the project. So they've retained a sizable piece. They have a nominated director joining the board post-listing, who is a geologist as well, and has quite a bit of project knowledge and history, having belonged with Navarre. So we see being able to leverage that history. There's a lot of data, a lot of information that Navarre have been holding that we will that we've accessed as part of our due diligence program. And so we're starting from well up the curve in terms of our knowledge base. Navarre are operating in the region, so we'd be hoping to maybe tap into some of that as well, at least in the sense of good service providers to go to, et cetera, et cetera. So we see a lot of opportunity that we can leverage from Navarre. And as I said, with them, with having a stake in our company and a board member, they're certainly going to ensure it's in their best interest to provide as much assistance as they can.
Okay, that's good. After listing, what are some of the milestones or price catalysts that you're expecting to release to the market, which investors can look forward to?
Yeah, look, because we're starting with a reasonable understanding of with the geological knowledge that we're inheriting from Navarre, straight out of the blocks, we've got our initial on-ground program, which will kick off, straight away. That's all about really recalibrating ourselves on the ground, trench work, mapping, those sort of traditional geological works. We'll be moving in with a fairly large-scale geophysical program as quickly as we can get going on that. In parallel to that, we'll be using the existing data. We've already ascertained that from the existing data, we can generate our first initial inferred JORC compliant resource. So we'll be moving as quickly as we can on releasing our maiden inferred JORC compliant resource. And then all of that work and all of the geological history will be feeding into our targeting. So we'll move forward into kicking off drilling in Q4 this year. So we've got a lot planned. We're ready to go, and there'll be a lot of news flow moving out from that.
Okay, thanks for that. What are some of the key features of the IPO? What makes RBX a compelling company for an investor to consider?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously the existing shareholders, the company had been in suspension for 2 years and delisted. There was some debt in the company from some of the existing shareholders. We were able to get shareholder approval through our EGM to consolidate the register, consolidate the debt. So the existing shareholders, had a fair belief in what the board was proposing with the Black Range transaction. Moving forward now, that gives us a cap structure, 43 odd million shares on issue, undiluted, an EV just over 3 million. So a very, very tight capital structure, really low EV, fully funded for all of our works programs moving forward, and getting going out of the blocks. Initial JORC compliant inferred resource within the first 6 months of listing. It's not too many projects you can come out of the blocks inside 6 months and release your first JORC compliant resource. So we see all of those being very, very compelling reasons, and we're very, very, we really believe that there is a large scale VMS within this tenement. So it's a very, very compelling case.
Okay, that's pretty exciting. So investors do have some good things to look forward to. As probably much everyone's aware who doesn't live under a rock, copper is pretty bullish at the moment. It's sort of in that electric vehicle space. What's your view on the sector, and where do you think copper's heading at the moment?
Yeah, look, I've always loved copper. Copper's always been one of my top 3 favourite commodities. Those being gold, copper, and nickel. They're my favourite commodities, always have been. I'm always chasing copper projects. So to land, what we believe could be an outstanding copper asset for this IPO was amazing. The outlook for copper, I think, is just, the sky's the limit. It's driven by fundamentals. There's an emerging significant gap in the supply and demand, the EV market, and the broader market in terms of wind generation and batteries and so forth moving forward. It's a very, very compelling case, and I think it's a very exciting commodity to be in.
Shannon, thanks a lot for that time you gave us this afternoon. It was really informative. I'm sure our investors really will like that. Looking forward to watching this space and wishing you all the best, and certainly we will be supporting the offer, and looking forward to see how it goes on the boards.
Fantastic, Sean. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. And if anyone wants to know where to find more, please jump on our website. We've got a new website up and running. Link to the prospectus so they can download the prospectus. And if they want to know anything further or they've got some detailed questions, please reach out to the company. I'm always happy to talk to potential investors.
That's really nice to hear back from an executive chairman, mate. That's really great. I'm sure people will. And best of luck. Thanks again.
Perfect. Thanks, Sean.
Bye.